Hello everyone, my name is Victoria. Welcome to my book empire, and I'm very happy and thrilled to make this video today because I've been kind of collecting these books on my shelves for quite a few months, and it started to give me some kind of anxiety because I want to find a place for each book on my shelves and just to put it where it belongs, but I don't want to do that without showing you what I got. As I said, they are mostly from little free libraries, so they are free. I got some in thrift stores which are really cheap and I would consider as free as well. And I have some that I bought for a full price. I'm not sure I will have enough time to show you all of them because I have around 30 books here maybe. Anyway, let's get started. First two books I got for a full price, but I want to show you them in the beginning because I'm kind of tired of them lying there and I have even read one of them. I started both these books in my Try a Chapter challenge. I will link the video here, so if you want to know what I think and why I bought those books, you can watch this video. So the first one is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, a thriller. I loved it. I want to continue reading it. That's why I bought it. And another one is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I will link another video here with my full review to this book because I finished it already. Spoiler, it was a 5-star and I loved it. The next book I had on my wish list for a pretty long time. I've heard only good things about it. It's A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry. Every person who read this book was saying only good things. Almost every person who read it was crying. So I believe it's gonna be hard and heartbreaking, but also very interesting. It has around 700 pages. So I'm not sure I can read this book in English. I was really happy when I found it for free in a little free library, but as I'm not sure I can manage this book, I bought another one in Russian edition to be sure I will read it because I feel kind of really into books about India right now, so this is in my nearest plans. Let's open this one together because I don't have any books in this edition on my shelves. I want to see how good it's done, and we'll compare which one we like more. How to do this? Probably? Yeah. I like to open this. Nice. It's very soft. And it has gray pages, a lot of text on one page. How many pages? Oh, this one has almost, let's say around 860 pages. So more than this one, but it's also smaller. So let's compare the editions. English one and Russian one. Which one do you like more? Let me know in the comments. Another book I have here, I cannot believe someone put in a little free library because it's very popular, it's huge and it's expensive, but thanks and all the blessings to that person because I found it and I was shocked, really shocked and very happy. And that's The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. Also Oprah's book club peak, and I have a small story here to tell. When I first subscribed to Oprah's Instagram, that was exactly the month when they chose this book to read, and she was posting some girl, have no idea who she was, who was reading this book and telling her impressions and thoughts of it, and she had so many different feelings and emotions. She was surprised at times. It made me want to buy this book and read it, but it was expensive when it came out, and I'm not sure I can read again, the same as with A Fine Balance, this thick book in English. But why not to try? I 100% like the description of the book, so I had to take it. And it also is so beautiful, I need it on my shelves. Let me read you the description. It has sold more than 1.5 million copies worldwide. Just imagine that. Spanning the years 1900s to 1977, The Covenant of Water is set in Kerala on India's Malabar coast and follows 3 generations of a family that suffers a peculiar affliction. In every generation, at least one person dies by drowning, and in Kerala, water is everywhere. At the turn of the century, a 12-year-old girl from Kerala's Christian community, grieving the death of her father, is sent by boat to her wedding, where she will meet her 40-year-old husband for the first time. From this unforgettable new beginning, the young girl and future matriarch Big Amachi will witness unthinkable changes over the span of her extraordinary life, full of joy and triumph as well as hardship and loss, her faith and love the only constants. Yeah, I need this book. And as I had this book on my wish list, as well as another book by this author, I decided to buy that other one in Russian, to compare and see which language is easier. Obviously Russian is easier, but like which language I will prefer to read these books in, English or Russian. So this other book I bought for a full price, and it's Russian edition. It's again Abraham Verghese, and he's Cutting for Stone. Here the description is also very interesting. Let me read it for you. Marian and Shiva Stone are twin brothers born of a secret union between a beautiful Indian run and a brash British surgeon at a mission hospital in Addis Ababa. Orphaned by their mother's death in childbirth and their father's disappearance, bound together by a preternatural connection and a shared fascination with medicine, the twins come of age as Ethiopia hovers on the brink of revolution. Yet it will be love, not politics, their passion of the same woman, that will tear them apart and force Marian, fresh out of medical school, to flee his homeland. He makes his way to America, finding refuge in his work as an intern at an underfunded, overcrowded New York City hospital. When the past catches up to him, nearly destroying him, Marian must entrust his life to the 2 men he thought he trusted least in the world, the surgeon father who abandoned him and the brother who betrayed him. Oh my God, that sounds so interesting to me. You know, another problem with making videos, like book haul videos, when I tell you about the books, I want to read every one of them right now. What do I do with that? Huh? I don't know. Another great find is Word D by Frida McFadden. Interesting fact, I have 4 books by this author on my shelves and I bought only one of them. Everything started with a gift from my friend, which was Never Lie by this author. Then I found The Housemaid for a really good price, and then I found these 2. I read Never Lie, liked it, not the best thriller of my life, but was good. And sometimes I feel like I need a good thriller. Frida McFadden is something you can read really quickly and entertain yourself for a couple days, so why not to take it? Next one is by Rachel Hollis. It's called Girl Stop Apologizing, a shame-free plan for embracing and achieving your goals. I have no idea who Rachel Hollis is, and I did not even look her up, but this name says, Victoria, you need this book, because I feel guilt almost all the time, because even now with a baby, like I don't have my relatives here, I don't have a lot of friends, don't have a nanny, so I and my husband are staying with the baby all the time, and every time I have some spare moment, I always have to choose what to do, and whatever I choose, I always feel guilt that I haven't chosen something else. For instance, if I choose to go cook some dinner, I feel guilt that I don't go for a walk with my husband and my son. If I go eat my dinner, I feel guilt that I don't go cook something else for my son and my husband. If I just read a book or film a video, I feel so much guilt that I haven't done something, like useful around the house, and so on, and so on, and so on. So I just feel like this book might really help me. If it doesn't, or if I don't like it, I will just return it to a little free library, and that's it. My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This is a first book of 4 in the series, and it's an Italian author. I don't usually read translated literature in English. If it was written in English, then I do. But if it was translated from some other language, I prefer to read it in my native language. As I want to read these in Ukrainian, they are not available at the moment, and I do not know when they will be, so I decided to take this one and try. The chance is around 800% that I will return it because I don't like this edition at all. So even if I decide to read it in English, I will just try in this one and then probably buy it in another one. From one of Italy's most acclaimed authors comes this ravishing and generous-hearted novel about a friendship that lasts a lifetime. The story of Elena and Lila begins in the 1950s in a poor but vibrant neighborhood on the outskirts of Naples. Growing up on these tough streets, the two girls learn to rely on each other ahead of anyone or anything else, as their friendship, beautifully and meticulously rendered, becomes a not always perfect shelter from hardship. Ferrante has created a memorable portrait of two women, but My Brilliant Friend is also the story of a nation. Through the lives of Elena and Lila, Ferrante gives her readers the story of a neighborhood, a city, and a country undergoing momentous change. Yeah, I definitely want to read it. Also, I've heard that it's a very good read for the summer, so also in the nearest plans. Again, very surprisingly, I just added a book to my shopping bag, whatever it's called, like online shopping bag, in the Ukrainian store where I usually buy books, and then I found it in a free library. How does that happen? I don't know. And I started reading it like I took it in the beginning of a walk with my son, so I read a couple pages and I loved it. I find it very easy to read in English, so I'll probably just read this edition. Also very interesting to me. So it's Dear Edward by Ann Napolitano. One summer morning, 12-year-old Edward, his beloved older brother, his parents, and 183 other passengers board a flight in New York, headed to Los Angeles. Halfway across the country, the plane crashes. Edward is the only survivor. His story captures the attention of the nation, but he struggles to find a place in a world without his family. He continues to feel that a part of himself has been left in the sky, forever tied to the plane and all of his fellow passengers. After he makes an unexpected discovery, he begins to understand all the ways his aunt and uncle, teachers, neighbors, and one very special friend have stepped in to care for him. Edward comes to see the transformative power of kindness and realizes that even a broken heart is capable of great love. The next one is not an actual book, it's a book, but it hasn't come out yet. It's Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, and I have an uncorrected bound manuscript. It will come on sale in fall 2025. So if you know anything about Stephanie Perkins or have read any of her books and think this might be a good one and want me to read it before it comes out and give you my review, please let me know in the comments, because as it's not it doesn't have a beautiful cover. The font here is I don't like it too much, so I don't feel inspired to read it now, and will do probably only if you inspire me. This book I've also had on my wish list for a very long time, but it's tough. And this is probably for the mood when you want to cry and want your heart to be broken. And it's A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, Afghan-American author. Let me read you the synopsis. A Thousand Splendid Suns is a breathtaking story set against the volatile events of Afghanistan's last 30 years, from the Soviet invasion to the region of the Taliban to post-Taliban rebuilding. That puts the violence, fear, hope, and faith of this country in intimate human terms. It is a tale of two generations of characters brought jarringly together by the tragic sweep of war, where personal lives, the struggle to survive, raise a family, find happiness, are inextricable from the history playing out around them. I read another book about women in Afghanistan, how they are treated there, and about different events with the Taliban. It was tough, so I expect this one to be the same, and probably will not read it very soon, but happy to have it on my shelves. Another one is really funny. It's called Christmas at the Shelter Inn by Ray Ann Thane. It's a mass market paperback. In my video, do I have that book? I will link it here. I said that I don't like mass market paperbacks, but when I saw this one, I instantly thought that I want to have a holiday somewhere in a warm country by the sea, somewhere around Christmas, and I will fly there on the plane, so I need a book to read during the flight. And mass market paperback is a great one to take to the plane, so that's why I took it just like that. I will not tell you anything about next 6 books because they are all thrillers or detectives or mystery, something like that. I don't know anything about them because I don't usually read descriptions to these kinds of books. I got them only because sometimes I need a good thriller, you know, to feel those emotions, have those wait, what moments. That's why I took them, and probably I will just read them and then return unless I really, really love them. But I have them, so let me show you everything. So we have The Rising Tide by Anne Cleeves here. Then Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. A Willing Murder by Jude Deveraux? I don't know, have never heard about this author. A Meddler Mystery. The next one is Barbara Delinsky and Her Before and Again. Is this? Ooh, sorry, this is not a thriller. Okay. From a multi-million selling master of women's fiction, Before and Again is a story of the relationship we find ourselves in. Mothers and daughters, spouses and siblings, true companions and fair weather friends, and what kind of sacrifices we are or aren't willing to make to sustain them through good times and bad. Oops. Anyway, probably I need something to read, something like this if I got this book, but just know this is not a thriller. And 2 other ones are Cross Justice and You've Been Warned by James Patterson. Have heard a lot about James Patterson, but haven't read anything by him. He has written so many books. You don't know what to choose. So if you read anything by this author, let me know if these 2 are a good start or not. I feel like he might be something like, what is his name? Sidney Sheldon. Like some of his books are really good, but some are for more middle-aged people. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, these 2. I don't have enough space on this table to put these books. Mama, I have 10 books left in general, 5 that I bought for under $5 and 5 that I bought for a full price, and I am tired already, but I will try and show them to you. The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. I read A Spanish Love Deception by her. I only got pregnant and started reading in English actively I was feeling nauseous from books, especially in English books. So I don't know if I like her or not. I want to form my opinion. That's why I want to read another book to understand. This one sounds interesting to me. Like, she is a romance writer, she has a career slump, and she moves to her, something happens to her apartment, so she moves to her friend's apartment, to her friend's brother's apartment, and he decides to help her with the romantic inspiration by doing some date experiments, which sounds fine to me. So I got it for $2.25, and now I have it to see if I like Elena Armas or not. This one I added to my wish list a long time ago when I was watching one of the reviews by Alua, who is a Kazakhstan book blogger. Sorry, a Kazakhstan book blogger, and I don't remember what it is about, but it's not available in Russian or Ukrainian edition, or sorry. Or even if it's available, it's extremely expensive. So when I saw this one for $2.25, I decided I need it, and I got it. It seems to me that Lisa C might be similar in what she's writing to Amy Tan, but I'm not sure. Let's see what it is about. You know what? It has a review of Amy Tan here, so probably they are similar in some way. In 19th century China, in a remote Henan county, a girl named Lily at the tender age of 7 is paired with a Lao Tong, an old same, in an emotional match that will last a lifetime. The Lao Tong Snowflower introduces herself by sending Lily a silk fan on which she has written a poem in Nushu, a unique language that Chinese women created in order to communicate in secret away from the influence of men. That's interesting. As the years pass, Lily and Snowflower send messages on the fan and compose stories on handkerchiefs, reaching out of isolation to share their hopes, dreams, and accomplishments. Together they endure the agony of food binding and reflect upon their arranged marriages, their loneliness, and the joys and tragedies of motherhood. The two find solace in their friendship, developing a bond that keeps their spirits alive. But when a misunderstanding arises, their relationship threatens to tear apart. Yeah, sounds interesting. Next book is The Peach Keeper by Sarah Edison Allen. I read 2 other books by this author. I liked them. They are kind of strange because they are written in magic realism. I still don't know what I think about magic realism, but the kind of feeling they give me, I am in a mood sometimes for those feelings and for these kinds of books. So first I bought it because I read 2 other books by her. Second, because it was only $3.50, and third, because of the cover. It looks so beautiful to me, very summery. Probably I will read this in the summer if I have enough time. Very interesting also is that I read first book by her in Ukrainian, second book by her in Russian, and this one will be in English. So I'll have an opportunity to compare them. And I don't know anything about it. We'll go blind. If you know anything about this book, let me know, but no spoilers, please. Anyway, it's very, very pretty. The Help by Catherine Stockett. I read this book a couple years ago in Ukrainian. I liked it less than the movie, probably because I watched the movie first, which I rarely do. I prefer to read the book first. But anyway, I liked it. It raises very important topics like people of color working for white people and how white people did not respect them. Not so long ago, 1960s, like 60 years before, how they did not go to the same toilet and all the things like that. I remember liking the characters very much because they were well written and very unique. Each of them was very unique. So I definitely recommend this book, and as I read it in another language, I can reread it in English and it will be a totally different experience for me. So I'm happy I found it for such a low price. Guys, I'm gonna show you the last book for today. I have 6 left, but unfortunately, as I said before, I don't have enough time to show you all of them. I will leave them for another book haul or maybe make a short video. I don't know, but for today, the last book will be Happy Place by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read by Emily Henry, which I absolutely disliked. I started reading Funny Story in Try Chapter Tag and I liked it, so I still don't know what I think about this author. But if I like Funny Story, I will have another book to enjoy. That's why I got it, and it was only $2.25 for a hardcover popular book. Can you imagine that? It also seems very summery, so I might read it in the summer, maybe even instead of Funny Story. And you know what? Although I don't usually make any reading plans, I feel like I have too many books on my summer TBR, so you might expect that kind of video on my channel. Let me count how many books I showed you today. 25 books in general. We're supposed to be 30, but I told you about those 5 others, and I have no idea where to put them because I don't have enough space on my shelves already, but that's kind of a pleasant problem, right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me, and please share in the comments which books you bought recently, because I'm always curious to know what you guys are reading and buying, and I just love talking to you. So I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.